I'm Coleman, and this is Combat Details, a series of videos where I analyze PlanetSide 2 gameplay for the improvement of myself and others. First, we review the loadout used, second, we watch the full uncut clip of gameplay, and third, we analyze the moment-to-moment details. Let's get into it. The loadout used in this clip is a light assault class that is primarily focused on winning one-on-one duels. My primary weapon is the GD7F carbine, equipped with hipfire attachments, so short barrel, laser sight, soft point ammunition, and a reflex sight. My secondary weapon is the Commissioner with a red dot sight and a laser sight. This thing is really good for finishing off wounded targets. My ability is the Icarus jump jet, really good vertical thrust at the cost of horizontal. My suit slot is ammunition belt, which gives 4 additional magazines to both primary and secondary, but what I really like about it is the 15% increased reload speed for both. In my grenade slot, I have impulse grenades to help with the lacking horizontal movement of the Icarus jump jets. My utility slot is medkits so that I can give myself health around corners. In order to get around those corners, I have 2 implants. The first is Survivalist, which gives a speed boost after my shields are broken, as well as a 150 health regen over that same time, and Assimilate, which gives 200 shield health back on headshot kills. So that's my loadout. Let's watch the clip. Alright, now let's get into some review. So I'm going to play this clip from all the way at the beginning. This is a 1.5 minute clip, and it starts as I'm disengaging here from this guy, and I'm taking damage pretty heavily in a one-on-one fight, but I kind of had to predict it. That's the thing that you'll have to kind of get used to in PlanetSide, is predicting the income of damage because of client-side hit detection. So even though I leave at this moment, I'm still kind of on their screen for a split second longer, or whatever the latency is combined, or my latency combined with the server latency. So I have to kind of predict when to leave. I do so at a good time. I have about half of my health left, and I can just kind of escape. I have no threats over here. I get up over the wall, and I use a medkit. So getting up over this wall, so we're going to be taking this tiny steps, but I want to mention getting up over this wall with Icarus jump jets. So Icarus jump jets have a rough time with horizontal movement, great time with vertical movement. To get around that, I could use impulse grenades, but I only have 2 impulse nades down here. So instead, where I can, I like to use momentum, like horizontal or like rotational momentum, to get up and over things. And the way you do that in this game is you kind of want to rotate as you're jetting up. So if you pick a a rotational axis, like let's say a point. If a point here is the axis I want to rotate around, I just want to aim at it, and then as I'm jumping kind of upward in this direction, I want to keep my crosshair aimed at around a point, and then my momentum will kind of swing me up and over at more with more horizontal momentum than I would otherwise have. So we can just watch that happen real quick. So I jump, aim, still at A, and then once I get that momentum over the wall, I can kind of just free myself up and medkit. And now I'm entering this flank zone. So if you'll see on radar, we have this whole zone here is kind of clustered with enemy radar pings. Looks like we have about 5 or 6 on point, and then 1 in this building back here. So it seems like I'm pretty safe over here, though I'm identifying we have 1 radar dart here and 1 radar dart here that are friendly. So the zone that I know about for enemy activity is about this range, maybe a little bit bigger. But the point there is that I don't know anything about this. And typically at this base, we'll have Sunderers here and Sunderer here, either or maybe both. But in this case, it's a small fight, so I'm assuming one or the other. But that's just to say that if there's anybody entering from these Sunderers, I might not know about them yet. I think this person is firing their weapon, and that's why they're on radar currently, because they're not within the radius of our darts. But as I'm kind of doing this flank, running around this route, that's what I'm kind of looking at, is my eyes are trained on the radar, figuring out where exactly things are. And then I kind of come here and I pause the window, and I spot this person who was previously on radar about here. They're now here spotted. They're a bounty target, but I don't want to commit to shooting them because I have a really good flanking position. I don't want to expose myself by getting this person's attention. I just want to stay chill, stay quiet, let them pass. If they come to me, and I fight them. But if they don't, I let them pass. Looks like they're not interested. They're going to go kind of up on top of the buildings to about this area. They might be running a flank of their own. But if I chase them, then my flank will be kind of useless. So I'm going to let them do their thing. And then I come down, and this is a mistake. I throw a impulse nade. I thought I had flash grenades, but impulse nade here is fine. Like, it might distract them a little bit. I don't think it flies so fast. I don't think that they see where it comes from. But that's not what I wanted to be doing. I throw that, and then I try to enter this room, and I get nice first pick there, and turn and get a double. But this is one reason why it's really good to go back and watch your own gameplay, because in the moment, you know, my brain is sending me a dopamine hit here that I did good. I got a double kill. That's great. Did nothing wrong. I killed it. Good job. But I think I could have done things much better here, much safer. So let's back up. In this situation, I see on radar that there is a person to the right of my doorway down here and a person to the left of my doorway up here. And I think I chose which target to shoot for first. Well, I think I did that to my liking. However, I didn't pie the corner in the way I think I should have. Now, what I did was I kind of just ran straight in, planted my feet about here, and shot at the person standing to the left. which exposes me to a lot of threats. So not only can someone behind this box here peek and see me, but the person who I already know about on radar, who's probably standing about here, can definitely see me if they're looking in this direction. And that's not good. So what I want to do instead is choose which target I want to hit first. I think, again, like I said, I like my choice of going for the target on the left first, standing about here. So what I want to do is swing wider around the doorway and stand here, or wherever I see them, wherever I make first contact. Whenever I see them first, I'll probably stop and shoot. So it might be stopping at about here on that curve. But if I'm standing there, then this line I'm behind, so I'm not at threat from the peak at this corner, and am even at much less of a threat from the person standing here. So that's just a safer way to go about it. I think I got lucky because my teammates, friendly NC in the area, were also pushing this building at the same time I was. That I think was a coincidence, lucky timing. I wasn't really playing around that on purpose, and I don't think they were either, just kind of happenstance. And if I entered this room alone, it may have gone much differently. So let's just play it again. We clean up the room really nicely. My aim was on point there. And now, after clearing the room, we're entering the mode of what's next. So I'm looking at radar. One thing I notice is that they still have a motion spotter in the room. So that means that pretty much everyone in maybe this radius, it's a pretty big radius, maybe even bigger than that for motion spotters, depending on the level they're at. So they know about us. They know where we're at, and we don't really know where they are. I think this player, this dot here, is their light assault that went on a flank that I spotted and did not deal with. This dot here is someone who may have momentarily shot and put themselves on radar. But other than that, we don't know about anything again in this area. But it can be assumed that they are staging themselves in this building. So we want to kind of play it safe, stay in the building, do some strafe peeks, figure things out. And next thing we know, we have the dot that was pinged on radar about here is now down on the ground in front of the building, and he has killed my teammate right next to me. So what I want to do to react is, let's see, what I did do to react was do a jump jet strafe to try and get some damage on them. And the reason I did a jump jet strafe is because I wanted to put my head at an unpredictable level. He just killed my teammate at the same window I'm going to be peeking from, so he knows where head level is for people in this room. He knows where to put his crosshair. So I want to put my head somewhere different, so I do a little jiggle strafe jump. And it's okay for me to do because I have a carbine, and hipfire accuracy while flying with carbines is just as good as standing hipfire accuracy, or maybe just barely worse. I'm not sure exactly, honestly. But I get a little bit of damage on them, and then I want to disengage because I think I didn't get enough damage where I was confident to stick it out. They're a heavy assault, I'm a light assault. They win the damage duel there with perfect accuracy, so I wanted to reposition. And I'm seeing that on radar, they're still shooting, and I'm hearing that they're still shooting. They're pinged here. I know that they're not outside of the bounds of this corner, so they can't see me coming if I exit this door. So I pretty much have a free challenge on this player who's actively engaging the opposite direction. So I jump and laser them. This is pretty safe because they're actively shooting at somebody else, but I jump anyway just to eliminate as much possibility of them snapping around and getting me as possible, because, you know, they could kill my teammate and then hear me coming and instantly snap to me and still have a good amount of health. Like, I don't know how my teammate's going to do in their duel. So that's why I flew. No reason not to, really. And then I'm jumping up and getting next guy. So this is when I'll mention the ammunition belt slot that I started into. I start reload here just after I get that kill, and the reload is finished just in time for me to get some really strong alpha damage on this guy up on the balcony. That would not have happened if I was running Advanced Shield Capacitor. I would have been waiting a little too long for my liking to get that kill on it, and this allowed for really good flow from one target to another. So I appreciate ammunition belt a lot here. And I'll also explain in this situation the importance of Peeker's Advantage in PlanetSide. A lot of people illustrate Peeker's Advantage with pieing corners, and this is pretty much the same thing, but I'm just pieing a ledge instead, or a railing. So this is the same situation I was showing in game, just illustrated from a different angle, a little bit more helpful of an angle. So this railing here that I've also done in yellow is the same one we're referencing in game. This is my opponent up top, and they are paused in their movement, essentially, because they're only moving horizontal to this critical ledge here. And I am actively moving vertically very quickly. So on their screen, they see me rocketing up super fast, as I am, but they see it at a different time relative to damage being dealt on the server to when I see it. So the first time they see me on their screen, I'm aiming from the bottom here. But when I'm there on their screen, on my screen, I'm all the way up here, and I've pretty much finished lasering their head from this field of view. So that's Peeker's Advantage. Being the proactive one in the engagement is typically the way to play it. The only way I could see this enemy heavy assault countering me here is to do his proactive move and jump up onto this railing to see me on his screen before I see him on my screen. Same exact thing, and then our odds would be kind of evened out, and they might have a chance. But again, Icarus jump jets are so good with quick vertical movement that I think it would be really difficult for them to make a play against me here. So that's that explained. Now let's hop back in and continue to work through this. Get that kill. And now that I'm up on this ledge, I know that I'm in enemy territory pretty much. I am in this zone here that I was kind of previously marking as the unknown zone. We don't have radar here, and we think Sundays are on the sides of the building. So I got to be careful. I'm going to take things slow. I kind of peek into the room. Let's see, let's back up a moment. After I get this kill, I'm in this doorway. I peeked in the room. I saw someone for a brief second to the left, and I want to disengage that instantly because I'm reloading. Grenade comes to me. Now, a grenade landing here means that the doorway I'm in is no longer an option for me. So I switch to the other doorway, but I'm kind of identifying this move as the most predictable option. So I don't really like that. If I just run through this doorway, or if I just sit in this doorway, then I'm kind of playing into their cards, and I don't really want to do that. So I throw the fake. I maybe show my shoulder for a brief moment to kind of entice them. Then I come back to the original doorway, and I find an infiltrator who is cloaked at current right here, and because they're cloaked, that means I get free shots before they can retaliate. So I just tried my best to find that target and get some shots on them. I may have landed like 2 or 3 shots, maybe even just 1, who knows. But I see they're going to the other doorway, so I try to jump and do the same thing where I want to throw off their aim with vertical movement. Icarus jump jets are great for this because people are typically expecting people to dodge shots with horizontal strafing movements on the ground, or maybe crouches with like little minimal movement of the head, like bobbing the head. But with Icarus jump jets, you get a lot of height really fast, and people are not used to moving their mouse up and down to track targets, so it can mess with people a lot. And then they were cloaked, and I was kind of expecting them to come out and kind of see that I was above them and maybe want to disengage. So I kind of expected them to move out and around the doorway and kind of hug the wall here, but I was wrong about that. So I miss a lot of my shots, and I try to jiggle them back on. Doesn't really work out for the G7F magazine, but I get enough shots on them that I'm confident that my commissioner can finish the job even with a body hit. So I would jiggle. I'm going to back up a little bit more. Fly up, get my shots. I think I broke shields there, so very confident that commissioner can finish it. Commissioner does 450 damage to the body, so anything would work here. And then I come back. I use Peeker's advantage again to get to the doorway peak before them, and then my single shot high alpha damage weapon is going to beat their automatic repeater every time when it's a single shot to do it. So that's good. Now I want to disengage because radar is booming at this moment. We can currently see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people kind of starting to crash onto point. We got a new radar dart from our friendlies that's telling us this. That's a great job from them. Appreciate it. Tells me I need to get out of there. So I try to get up through this window. Bad choice. This is another mistake that I want to highlight in this clip, is that when running away, especially when you're running away when people are aiming at you from above, so their angle on me is kind of downward like this from the balcony, serpentining is a much better option than just trying to get directly up and out. So going through the window that way is a straighter line. I want to kind of use the serpentine to get into the doorway this way instead. Serpentining is really good even when you're on level ground with someone, and that's only them trying to adjust their aim in one dimension. So they're just trying to drag their mouse in a line across to try and track you. But when they're aiming from above, you're moving on a 2-dimensional plane relative to their aim down, and it's so hard to track people when they're serpentining below you. So doing this would have, I think, gotten me out super easy here. I had plenty of health, but instead I wanted to go through the window here. I'm used to going through windows with skirmisher jump jets, and those have much better horizontal control and speed. So getting through this window would maybe be possible there. I still don't think it's the best choice, but I'm so used to going through windows with those that trying to go through with the Amber or the Icarus jets just doesn't really work. You get that vertical momentum super fast. You bonk your head on the top, and then you're just kind of a crouching duck trying to get through the window. Easy kill for them. I didn't even get halfway through the window, but luckily my teammate was there to res me. And now that I'm in, I'm reassessing radar again. I'm in a safe spot behind the wall, and we're seeing even more. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 enemies preparing to crash the point. So me and my 3, maybe 4 teammates in this room are not going to be able to handle that. So my choice is to reload, get out, reload both my weapons, get out, reposition outside of the entire point room. Now this is where I stop and aim back in, because opponents crashing point are going to want to enter point and hold the area. They're going to come through this and this, both these doorways, and hold the point room. It's unlikely that they will immediately push all the way through and exit out toward the spawn, toward our spawn. So I know that I have a moment to sit here at this doorway and try to get some picks on the opponents as they enter the point room. So I start spraying at the first target I see, which is a heavy assault at the straight doorway. Get a good amount of damage on them, but I need to disengage because I saw this infiltrator coming to the other doorway here. And when you have two targets on screen looking in your direction, they know where you are. That's a kind of a losing battle, especially if you're already in a tight duel with first man. You want to play things safe. Got to play for life. So I try to stick it. I really, really try to stick this kill and get it. I don't. I disengage just in time. That infiltrator gets shots at me at the angle just before I got out. I think I was already around the corner on my screen, but again, client-side hit detection, Peeker's advantage. I do take that damage. So now I'm in crisis mode. I got decent damage on one player, but that's pretty much it. Everyone else is at full health unless my teammates have done something on their own. And I did get a kill assist, so that heavy assault did go down, but that's 1 out of 9 players that I know are dead. So we're in a crisis situation. I reload here. I jump jet over the doorway and the window to try to reposition without being seen while medkitting. Shields start recharging now. Now I can peek again and try to get some extra picks as they're kind of dealing with the rest of the room. They've already killed 3 of my teammates. They're just working on the last one. Sad. So I finally stick that another heavy assault. He maybe got a res from a team. I don't know if it's the same one. But I stick that one, and then I miss some shots on the infiltrator, get some headshots at the end, but I have to disengage. They know where I am again, so I got to get out. I reload, and I get shot at from behind by a shotgun, and I'm able to turn and spray them down. But I kind of want to go over how I decided to play this out. I'm running. I get shot by the shotgun. I know that this flat wall to my right is not really an option to take cover at. So I kind of fake a turn into it, and then I engage my horizontal movement to kind of throw off their aim, come back to the left. I jump backwards just a bit to get some extra distance between me and them because I know they have a shotgun. And then I wait to land to shoot again, try to ADS, and then by the end of the fight, I come out of ADS to get some strafe movement speed back. Because GD7F only has 0.5 ADS movement speed, and you're kind of a sitting duck in a firefight in a 1v1 if you are ADSing. So I wanted to throw off their aim just a little bit, though because of client-side hit detection, I don't think I came out of ADS and started strafing fast until they were already dead and the fight was decided. But that's the decision I was going by. I get the kill, just a little bit lucky there with my aim, outdoing his barely. And then I do the same strafe jet up and medkit. That's the end of the clip. Now to summarize my takeaways for my own personal gameplay going forward, I think I've learned 2 major things. One is that I need to not take the straightest line. I need to serpentine, get into doors, especially when people are above me. And 2, I want to hip fire more in one-on-one engagements at close range. I think I underestimate the strength of strafe speed, especially when I'm using a gun that doesn't have good ADS movement multiplier. So just want to be dodging shots more, because I think hip fire on most guns, especially on this class, is plenty good to hip fire at close range. So that's the summary for me. If you got any takeaways, that's super cool. And if anyone wants to send in any clips, because I would love to review some clips that are not mine, hit me up on Discord or on YouTube, and we can probably work something out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.